When Meghan Markle celebrated her 44th birthday recently, there was a lot of interest. Oh yes, not necessarily because she'd reached a wonderful age, but simply because, well, it was all to do with this. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as ever, nice to have your company. Welcome one and all brand new subscribers. I'm waving to you, so I expect to see yes, it's a nice Benny Hill wave, that one, isn't it? Love Benny Hill, as many of you know who watch the show on a regular basis. If you're fed up, chums, flick on a bit of Benny Hill on YouTube. Soon cheer you up, that or Laurel and Hardy. Nothing like slapstick, is there? As long as it's not you know what I mean. Birthdays, Meghan Markle, just recently enjoyed her 44th birthday. And what's interesting, let me just ask this as well, because this is really happening a lot, isn't it? When you get to a certain birthday now, are you that bothered about celebrating them? And I don't mean because you've got older or anything like that, but there's less, isn't there, that you need gifts. It's really more about spending quality time with people and meeting up with people. The present's a little sort of like secondary. Is it just me? I can't think of anything now that, other than practical things, you know what I'm saying? Cans of foam shave or razors or something, where you think, oh, I don't need to buy that. Presents, more or less, I think you get to a certain age, correct me if I'm wrong, chums, that I think you more or less have everything. And the biggest gift you can get to yourself is health. Am I right? Absolutely. Everything else is, you know what I'm saying. Meghan Markle, though, decided to post a self-congratulatory sort of message to herself on her Instagram account. And really a lot of people were shocked by this, but really, it's marketing and she did it. And let's not forget, this is a woman who decided, chums, to launch her wine range, yes, on the birthday of her mother-in-law, the late Diana, Princess of Wales. So you think, no, really, there's no stone unturned on this particular level. What I find fascinating, though, and this is really what caught all the headlines, was the fact that Meghan then a little bit later on in the day, after posting out this self-congratulatory thing, decided that actually what we needed to see was her blowing out her candles. And as I told you, she's now got down to marketing herself, not only just herself, but literally the restaurant that she clearly got a freebie from. Said it was one of the best meals that she'd ever encountered, a wonderful dining experience. It's a bit of a pizzeria, quite expensive, looks nice food, but then again, not necessarily up there maybe with Claridge's or the Waldorf Astoria. You get the picture, but each to their own. But it was this that caught everybody's attention, the picture of Meghan blowing out the candle. Well, not all 44, of course, it would be a little bit tricky, and some might say a little bit dangerous. But you see, everybody focused on the fact that, well, there was something radically different. Now, if you remember, Meghan famously said about her father that she was delighted and thrilled that, in fact, she'd inherited the Markle nose, the sort of Bob Hope ski slope jump, Nothing wrong with that. We're all different. We're all unique. It has to be said, though, that Meghan's appearance has radically altered since we first ever saw her. And more importantly, I can't trace anything of the 43% Nigerian that she likes to wave a flag about. You get the picture. So what's the true story behind this? Well, literally, the internet blew up and people were saying as she had some sort of cosmetic procedure. Now, that's exactly what the team were doing, right? At the time of recording this, nobody answers a request. But you see, they knew what was coming with the centre barley. So by doctoring this particular picture, and it is a doctored picture, right? The bottom line is everybody talks about Meghan and her nose as she had some sort of enhancement. She looks different. And the narrative was to try and shove it back on her and obviously her birthday, and not so much on the shambles regarding Centre Barley and the fact that Meghan once again is being portrayed as something of a mean girl regarding Dr. Sophie Chanduka. Now, as for moving forward, only time will tell whether this is in fact a slight enhancement or indeed just simply a Photoshop enhancement to get the world talking. But a source working very close with Meghan said she often does this with pictures simply because she wants people to pick up on a mistake, a new look, a certain earring or whatever, so that really deviates from what's really going on, which, as now we all know, is something of a shambles behind the scenes. But the thing is, do you like the new look? Or will you be disappointed if she re-emerges looking exactly the same? Either way, Meghan once again got exactly what she wanted. The world talking about her on her birthday. But as ever, not necessarily for all the right reasons. Neil Shawn, St Pancras, London.